Alright, what's up guys? So I've been working on my AR a little bit on the trigger. That's what this video is going to be, but I just thought I'd show some pictures from when I first started building this. I built it probably a year, maybe 2 years ago. Bought all the parts and put it together. Back then I wasn't recording any videos or making any videos or anything like that, so I didn't record it as I built it. I wish I would have. But here's a picture of when I first started, got all the parts in, ready to put it together. And then here's a picture after it was built. So here's another picture after, kind of the way it looked for a while. Eventually, I think it happens to a lot of people, you start building it, and get it looking, one way that you think you like it. Then you see something else you want to buy, so you buy that and add to it. So that's just kind of what happened to mine. So that's the way it looks, and then that's the way it looked before, and then here's how it looks today, which you'll see also in the video. What's up guys? I got my AR15 here. I've been thinking about getting a new trigger, but the one that I want's a little bit expensive. I think it's about 200 bucks or maybe a little more. So the one I have is pretty stiff. I think it's a Palmetto State Armory lower parts kit. I don't know how many pounds the pull is on it, but it feels pretty stiff, pretty heavy. So rather than pay 200 bucks for a new trigger right off the bat, I figured I would polish the new trigger here and the hammer, the contact points in there, smooth them out, get the machine marks off of it. I did that about a week ago, and it does make the trigger feel better. I ordered the reduced weight trigger and hammer spring set from Midway USA. It's made by JP Enterprise. This is the 3.5. There you go, I think you see that. 3.5 pound spring. So I polished the trigger and everything. I'll show here in a second. I'll show how I did that, and then I'll install these new springs and try it out, try the trigger out and see how it feels. So we'll get started right here. Alright, first I'm going to go ahead and take the upper and lower apart. Just set that aside. Okay, I need to pop these pins out and take out the hammer and the trigger. So let me grab a little Allen wrench and pop them out. Okay, once you get that out, here's the main. Okay, the main thing here. Alright, this part right here on the trigger, this little surface area here, it had a bunch of machine marks on it. There was a bunch of lines that made it, a little bit rough. I guess that's what gives that trigger the gritty feeling. So you want to smooth those out. So what I did was I just got some 1200 grit sandpaper and laid it on the table. I did this in the house on the table that's a little flatter than this, and I just made sure I had this flat square on the table, and then just kind of rubbed it down with that sandpaper, just like that. And it works good. It smoothed it out quite a bit. Now, after that, I took my Dremel with some polishing compound and just, I don't have any on this wheel, I just put a new wheel on here, but I just took this and ran it across here. I just used the polishing compound that came with this Dremel, and that made it nice and shiny. So that made the trigger feel better. Feels a lot more smooth than it was before. I did this part also on the hammer. I don't know if you can see this little surface area right here where the yeah, right there you can see it kind of shining. Right in there there's some machine marks, so I used that sandpaper and just lightly sanded it down inside there to try and smooth that out too, where the two connect. Now, so after all that, it did make the trigger feel better, but I wanted to lighten it up a little, so I ordered these springs from JP Enterprise, so I'm going to swap these out and see if it makes any difference. Okay, just pop this one out. Put this So we'll just pop off this old spring. And put the new yellow spring on there. Alright, got the new spring on there now, so go ahead and do the hammer spring here. Alright, now put it back together, see if it makes any difference. Before I put that in there, I'm going to put a little drop of oil, not even a drop, but just a tiny bit of oil right here on the face of that where I smoothed it all out. Okay, now put it all back together here. Alright, now that we got the new springs on there, go ahead and put the trigger back in. Okay, now just get it lined up so it can come on all the way through. Got that one into the trigger. Now, gotta get the hammer. Okay. Now line it up on this side and I'll come on through right there. Alright. Alright, it's all back together now. Man, I can tell the difference already. This trigger feels a lot lighter than it was before. Alright, got it all back together. See how this trigger is now. Man, that feels so much better. I mean, it's just smooth. You don't feel that grittiness anymore, and man, it's a lot lighter. Make sure it resets. Yep. Works. Feels good. Grab some bullets and go try it out. Alright guys, I got 20 rounds loaded up. The first 10 are going to be this Privy Partisan PPU ammo, and then the next 10 is going to be the Federal XM193. So I'm going to do the first 5 shots kind of slow, then the next 5 I'll do quick, and then the same way once I get to the XM193, the Federal, I'll do the same, 5 slow and then 5 quick. Something I read online was that when you get the lighter hammer spring, you don't get as hard of hits on the primer, and sometimes the primer won't go off. So we'll try it out, see how it does. The trigger does feel a lot better. It's a lot smoother and a lot lighter than it was. You can definitely tell the difference. Let's try 5 quick ones. Alright, now we're on the Federal, the XM193, so I'll try 5 of those slow. Alright, we'll try the last 5 quick. Well, looks like everything's working just fine. The trigger feels a lot better. It's a lot lighter and a lot smoother. That spring kit from Midway USA was it was only $18. That's with shipping and everything. So for 20 bucks, you know, I already had a Dremel and a polishing wheel, some polishing compounds, so I bought the sandpaper. That was just a few dollars. Smoothed everything out in there, polished it up, put in the lighter spring, and you can tell a huge difference. It feels a lot better. I mean, it feels almost about half of the weight trigger pull than it was before, so I'm happy with it. But for 20 bucks, I think this did the job and it works perfect. I like it. Happy with it. Thanks for watching.